Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Stable Scoop Show. We're going to get started here in just a second. I'm waiting for some live listeners live viewers actually, to pop in, and then we'll get this show started. We're going to be putting this out on the Stable Scoop feed as well. So if you can't watch the whole thing in video, which we hope you do because we have a fun video for you tonight. If you can't do that and watch the whole thing in video, then you can listen to it on the Stable Scoop podcast feed as well. So let's get this party started here in about 30 seconds. Well, hi, everybody. This is episode 534 of the Stable Scoop Show. Tonight, we have a bit of a variety show for you. Our sponsor this episode is Kemin Equine. I'm Glenn DeGeek, founder of the Horse Radio Network and host of Horses in the Morning, the longest-running daily horse podcast in the world. We're doing something a little different tonight. I've put together a bit of a variety show for you instead of a roundtable. Up first, we have musician Templeton Thompson, and she's going to debut her new music video called Get Back Up tonight. So you guys are in for a treat. It's a debut here on the Horse Radio Network. Then we're going to have Auditor Emily Bentz. She's joining us from May Babes, and she's going to talk about the perils of starting a business during a pandemic and supply chain nightmare. So she was very brave to do that, although I think she might have started this process before the pandemic. And finally, Auditor Natalie is going to be joining us, or author Natalie is going to be joining us, and she's going to stop by to share the excitement of her new podcast on the Horse Radio Network called Adulting with Horses. So we do have a variety show for you, a little bit of everything, and we're going to bring on our first guest. We're very excited to have her. She's probably been one of the guests that's been on Horses in the Morning the most often over the last 12 years, 3,000 episodes of doing that show. And that's Templeton Thompson. Hi, Templeton.
Hello. How's
You probably
doing?
have, actually. You know, you started out in Stable Scoop about 14 years ago.
Because I'm old, Glenn. I'm old.
Yeah, we're both old. And now you've just been coming on a lot ever since, and it's been such a joy to have you. And of course, we play your music at times too, so that's fun too.
You don't get tired of me. I love you. I love you guys.
And you don't get tired apparently because you just keep producing music.
Oh, I get tired. Don't let me fool you. Don't let me fool you, Glenn. You know me, but we keep on going, and that's what the song's about. Get back up, man. Keep on going. Grateful. And I love you guys. Thanks for doing this. Seriously, you're very cool, you guys. And I know everybody out there in cyber world knows how wonderful Glenn and Jen Hebert are, and they've been so good to us over the years. And my amazing husband and partner in musical crime, not really crime, is sitting over here, and he's echoing the same thing. We love you. We love you, Glenn. We love you,
I tried
Jen.
to get him to host this show, but he wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it. He's over sitting off camera in his shorts. I actually have real pants on. I put real pants on. I totally did.
I feel special.
Yeah, I did.
So Templeton, let's talk about the song. Since we've known you, you've probably introduced 50 songs. I mean, it's been a lot of songs over the years, but this one was during the pandemic, if I remember right.
Yeah, right? This one, we had been working on an album for a very long time. You were one of the first crowdfunders. Glenn has always been super cool. We've done 2 crowdfunding projects so far. First one, we did the covers, the 70s covers, Icy Blue Heart album, and then this one, and it only took us 7 years to finish it. So I am so grateful, and we're so blessed because it turns out, and I've told you all about them, Glenn, and you've actually had one of the beautiful members of our Australian family on a live stream with us, the amazing Max Jackson, and our beautiful sister Max Jackson, and our beautiful brother Rod McCormack. He is co-produced this album, so I'm so excited. is an angel in our lives. My man Sam. So he and my man Sam Gay worked so hard. We had that album in progress for several years, like I was saying, and then we were blessed to get to finish it with the amazing Rod McCormack. And you guys look him up. He's incredible. Look up his beautiful wife, Gina Jeffries, our sister Gina Jeffries, Max Jackson. We have a gorgeous, amazing Australian family, and we're actually going to go for Australian radio with the single.
Oh, wow. Well,
I'm really excited.
So I'm one of the very few people, I think, that's seen this video already, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's on the down low. It's been on the down low. So these are little sneak peeks, and we're going to get it officially released. We're working that out right now. It may or may not be Friday, but it'll be very soon. So it'll be across all the platforms.
Well, let's just play it, and we'll talk more about the song after. Okay.
I love you. Thank you, Glenn.
Let's do this. Let's bring it up. Add it here, and let me hit play, and we'll get it started.
Never saw it coming, happened all at once, and now, this is now. And I can let it break me, I can let it take me down, all the way down. That's not how I'm made. I won't be afraid. I'll get back up, get back on and ride. I got dreams to chase and I ain't the quitting kind. I got miles and miles and miles to go, and this ain't my last rodeo. No, I'll get back up, get back on and ride. Every day's another chance to take a leap of faith. Find a way onward, and I can feel you with me every single step I take. You make me stronger. Turn and face the sun. Let this pony run and get back up, get back on and ride. I got dreams to chase and I ain't the quitting kind. Yeah, I know I got miles to go, but this ain't my last rodeo. No, I'll get back up, I'll get back on and ride. I will keep on daring greatly. Yes, I know it won't be easy. And if I fall and if I stumble, at least I know I gave it my all, heart and soul. I'll get back up, get back on and ride. I got dreams to chase and I ain't the quitting kind. Yeah, I know I've got miles to go, but this ain't my last rodeo. No, I'll get back up, I'll get back on and ride. Every day's another chance to take a leap of faith. Find a way onward.
I don't think there's anybody that cannot relate to that after the last couple of years.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's my fight song, man. It's my fight song.
It really is. I've had a tough couple of years too, and you sang that was about me. I think everybody can listen to that and think that's about me.
Thank you.
And that's what you want a song to do, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm grateful when folks say that, and then feel bad if they've gone through it too, but at least maybe it can somehow help, and I'm just grateful. It feels really good to have gotten back up, because it was pretty dark there for a while, and I'm grateful. And as we all know, all us horse mamas and papas, they heal us. And so my babies loved me through it, all of
Now,
them.
who was in the video, horse-wise? I know it was you, but who was the horse?
Our big beautifuls. They're both in there.
Yeah.
Both in there. Our big beautiful children. Our Janie, who's a Briar model, as y'all know, and our Boski. So they're both in there and just rocking it. And I'm so proud of them. I'm just so proud. And Glenn,
was that at your place? That video?
Yeah, we did all of that at our place. And then the way, because y'all have never been here. I keep
No.
y'all never come to visit. We have to make that happen. But we are so blessed. We have 3 acres, our little piece of heaven, and our wonderful neighbors who I made friends with immediately when we moved in. They're awesome, and we love them so much. And they let us use their 40-acre pasture as if it's ours. And so we've filmed so much out there. So the tall hay pasture, that's their beautiful pasture. And we got out there, and I hadn't put a saddle on our babies' backs in over 3 years.
So it really was getting back up.
It literally was. I mean, we're doing a whole behind the scenes video too, in the making of, which is, by the way, a little tricky when it's just 2 people trying to film and go, oh yeah, let's try to catch this and catch this. I was driving Sam nuts going, well, let me get this. He's like, honey, we've got a shot to do.
We have to actually shoot the video now.
Yeah, I gotta get a GoPro, man. I'm getting a GoPro next, and a drone. We're gonna get a drone. I'm just dreaming big. But yeah, so yeah, it had been a while, and as we all know, it's like our babies are so amazing, right? I mean, it's like we hadn't missed a day tacking up. They're like, oh yeah, cool, mom. It's totally cool. But we have some hilarious footage of, I swear their eyes were just like rolling, going, really? That's the best you can do with putting the saddle on my back? Seriously? I'm older now. Our saddle's really heavy.
Yeah. Those saddles are heavy.
So freaking heavy.
And they get heavier as the years go on.
Yeah. So
Templeton, we don't have a lot of time tonight, so I want to find out, when are people going to be able to buy the song? When are they going to be able to see the video again? What's happening?
You're so sweet. Well, right now you can stream Get Back Up, the song, the single, on all the platforms. It's everywhere. And the video will be released either Friday, on the day that we're getting together again, and 2 days on Horses in the Morning, that same day, or it could be next week, but I will keep everyone posted. But right now, just check out TempletonThompson.com, and that will tell you everything you need to know. And I will just ask a huge favor, when it is live on all the different networks, when the video is live and it's on YouTube and Facebook and all those kind of things, when it is, I'm just going to ask y'all all, please, to just watch it and share it when it is out there officially released, because that's how it is that we do what we do, right?
Right.
We gotta, with our content, and Glenn's
we'll be sharing it everywhere here, so we'll be putting it out there as best we can. I loved it. It was great. It was terrific.
Thank you so much. And again, I love you guys, and give Jen the biggest hug. I just appreciate y'all so much. I had so much fun with her at Monty Roberts, the movement. Oh my God, we had such a blast together, and I love her so much. And Helena and Buck, we had so much fun. And I just want to give a big, massive shout out here, and folks noticed that at the end of the video too, our amazing, incredible dear family at Hands on Gloves. They sponsored the video. They're literally helping us get back up, and their products are amazing. If you don't have Hands on Gloves for your babies, you got to get you some. So Jay, we love y'all so much, and we're just so grateful. So yeah, we'll keep everybody posted, and thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Templeton. Thank you, Sam. We'll see you guys.
Mwah.
All right. Speaking of sponsors, let's take a listen to, or actually, we're going to show this one. This is a video from our sponsors at Kemin Equine. And we want to thank Kemin Equine for continuing to be a sponsor here on Stable Scoop and on the Horse Radio Network. Now, one of our family, she's an auditor, been an auditor for a long time. We've actually had her on this show before, but we're going to chat with her in a little different vein tonight. We have Emily on with us, and she's an auditor of ours. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
You changed location.
I did. Sorry, there's like an old fireplace behind me. We moved.
No, it's much warmer now.
Yeah, I have a little bit more light. It's kind of a darker house. So, and the lights are really old. They're from the 70s. So the fixtures just don't put out a lot of.
Well, you look great. Yeah.
Oh,
thank
you.
So Emily's an auditor of ours and been a listener for a very long time. So where do you live again?
I live in Northern California in Orland. It's about an hour and a half north of Sacramento.
And you decided to start a company. You see it right there by your name, May Babes Equestrian, right before COVID?
I did, yeah. It was, well, I started the patent process in 2018, and it's still going, but I didn't actually start manufacturing until, it's been about 3 years. So right before, actually, we found out about COVID a little bit early from a manufacturer in Singapore. He told me that there was some virus going around and he wasn't sure if it would impact things, but through the pipeline, he had heard that it was in China already. And to kind of keep that in the back of my mind, that was late in 2019. And so then, of course, everybody knows what happened after that. But it was interesting to kind of hear about it from over there first.
And that's how I heard about it, was my nephew who sells thousands of products from China. And he told me about it first as well. And it was long before it had ever been announced.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is the company and what do you do? And then I want to talk to you about some of the challenges of starting a business in that environment. So
May Babes is a company that makes leggings, but they have a pretty innovative twist. The inside of them has basically built-in underwear. So we have two versions. One is more consistent with full coverage underwear on the inside. And then the other version is more like a women's thong that you would wear. And it's fully integrated into the leggings. So it really just makes life pretty easy. You don't have to worry about seams or bunching or chafing. And do you have a pair there that you can show? I do. Yeah, I have actually both types. So these are what I sell currently. These are, as in they're on the website. So these have a thong that's just built into the actual leggings or the breeches, because I have both.
Do they have pockets?
They do. They have pockets on both sides.
Okay.
For cell phones, and I put like spray bottles in there and things like that. And then this is a version that these are actually a prototype from Singapore of the newest version that'll be released soon. And they have what's considered the fuller underwear, or full coverage underwear version inside them. So they only have silicone. I don't know how well you can see.
Yeah, we can sort of see it shiny. Yeah.
Yeah. The silicone actually is different than any silicone on breeches right now, because it only runs from the seat down to the inside of the leg. Not around your bottom or anything like that. It's just really in the little places that you need it, not so you're covered in silicone and stick to everying that you touch after that.
That is a problem.
It is. It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
yeah, you can't, like my car, getting in and out of my car.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a fabric seat, I just kind of have to shimmy out and make do with it. But so they're both, they're pretty different. versions, but I think that everybody so far has really liked the version that we've been selling, but I think the new version will be really cool too. It'll be something really different.
Well, I have seen some rave reviews of some of the other listeners and auditors who have bought them, and I know some are waiting to get theirs right now. They just posted yesterday.
I know.
Yeah, they're so excited.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into our next conversation too.
So,
like, oh man.
You had a lot of challenges. Obviously, you had to design them. All of this process takes time when you're developing a new product. It's tough. And, especially clothing, because you have to figure out where to get it made, and that's not easy anymore. And then you ran into supply chain issues like everybody else did, and all of that. So how did you overcome it all? A psychiatrist?
I'm wearing a shirt that says grit. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that.
Horse girls have grit. No, it's really been interesting. I just have tried to come at it from the mindset that challenges are learning experiences, and that certain things you can't avoid, and you just take from it what you can that's positive and move on. I mean, I definitely have had my moments where I've stewed over why things aren't where they're supposed to be. Definitely shipping issues have been difficult, and it's just been one of those things where you just have to take it all in stride and kind of accept that that's part of your fate. And I've tried to keep a pretty consistent conversation going with my customers. A lot of auditors purchased breeches from me during a pre-sale, and we had everything lined up for manufacturing prior to. So the pre-sale was not. So this is the whole story. So I did a pre-sale of the breeches that I was launching, and those I already had. And so the day that we launched, I think I shipped them out like the next Monday. Well, we sold out of those, which is a total blessing. And so that was wonderful. So the other version was already in the works and set to go. And so I just basically pressed play on those and then rolled those into the pre-launch sale. Well, that and the manufacturing in Singapore both hit the skids. I mean, it was just like at the same time. It was horrible. I had planned on, I think we did our pre-sale, or our pre-launch was in April, the very end of April, like the 25th. And I had anticipated that I would get both inventories a few weeks later. And I actually just received the inventory for one on Sunday afternoon, which was my birthday. And
happy birthday,
Monday,
by the way.
Thank you. And, everything happens in clusters in life. It's really interesting how it seems to work that way. But I might have shed some happy tears when I finally got the inventory. And to give 100% credit to my customers, everybody has been super understanding. I mean, I really hope that they're worth the wait. That's my worry now. It's like turned from one worry to the other. But yeah, it's just been very difficult trying to figure out how to navigate something that is essentially unknown to me.
Well, plus you're putting out a lot of money. Let's be honest. You're putting out a lot of money to make all of this happen. And then when you're delayed in getting money in, that hurts too. I mean, that all hurts. It's hard. And all of us that have started businesses know what you're going through because we've all gone through it in our own ways. I mean, Horse Radio Network, we didn't make money for years. It was, we had those years that we were fighting the battle, right?
Yeah.
And you always are fighting the battle. There's always battles. There's always little skirmishes along the way, right? And you're going to have those forever. But, as long as you're still climbing the hill, and I think you've got a good product and already have, partly thanks to the auditors too. We'll give them some credit, willing to take a chance, right? And say, hey, look, a fellow auditor is doing this. I'm going to support her.
Yeah. And I think that I had help. I mean, I hired a business coach in January. Her name, she goes by Avenue Equestrian. She helps equestrian businesses. She helped me a lot. I mean, I feel bad. She was more of a therapist during this whole thing for me than anything else. I mean, really, but because she's very strategic and logical and nerdy and does a lot with numbers. And really, I needed somebody other than my husband and my friends to lament all my struggles with. And so she helped me out a ton. But the customers and the auditors have been huge supporters. And through the whole process, when you're building your business and trying to figure out your avatar and who your customer is, it's just been so cool to see people that are both patient and understanding and compassionate. Again, many of them are the auditors. And then also people that I had an email response recently that said, I just like supporting people that are, changing or challenging the norm and doing something different and innovation. And that was just a huge compliment to me. And I think it's a testament to the HRN group and just the equestrian industry, I guess. The people that I've met within it have been so understanding, and also their buy-in on something that is new has been substantial, which is really cool because there's a lot of tradition around equestrian sport. And in general, I think that with that tradition, people think that group is, their tradition follows them into every aspect of their life, and I think that I've been really shown just how much they look forward to new and exciting things, even though they enjoy participating in a sport that has a really storied past,
Well, I am proud of you for sticking it out. If you're going to give one piece of advice to somebody that's looking to start any business in the horse world, whether it's a boarding stable or whatever, what would that piece of advice be?
Find your tribe. I'm sure that you remember when I first had the idea, I brought it to the auditors and said, I know it's kind of taking time out of your day, but what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And they have been so overwhelmingly gracious with their time and energy and giving me feedback that it's really made me see the value in a community. And I think that if you have a business idea, you need to find your community, and they'll tell you the truth. They'll be honest with you, and they'll tell you if they were willing to spend their time, energy, or money on it. And you just can't get that type of feedback just anywhere. You just have to be able to find a community you trust and whose opinions you really value. So,
and that's not easy. I mean, I give that advice to people starting a podcast. I said, you got to find out who you use the word avatar, which, is a common word in marketing. You have to find out who your listener is in our case, right? You have to know who that person is. And that's how you design your content or your product, right? Whatever that is designed for that person, because that's who's buying your stuff. In our case, that's who's listening to it, right? So, yeah, you're absolutely right. That would be the same piece of advice I would give. And then don't quit. One of the things I say, and Natalie, our next guest, is going to appreciate this too. One of the things I say in all my podcasting talks at podcasting conferences is don't quit on a bad day. And I got that from thru hikers. The thru hikers that hike the Appalachian Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail, their term is don't quit on a bad day. So when it's raining and pouring and you're miserable and everything's wet and you just can't think you can do another day of this after 4 months of it, that's not the day to quit. Get to the next sunny day and then decide if you're going to keep going or quit. So it's the same thing in business. Don't quit on a bad day. Wake up the next morning and go, okay, can I do this? I've got that I slept that off. That hangover's over now. And how can I proceed with this? And make that decision on a good day.
Have you ever thought about being a life coach, Glenn?
No, I'm just too tired for that. Too old for that stuff.
I need to jump in on a routine session with you when I've had a bad day, and I'm like, I just want to.
Oh, I've wanted to quit on bad days before. Believe me, there's been times I've wanted to quit, but I've always slept on it, and then we wake up the next day. It always looks a little brighter the next day.
That is sage advice.
That doesn't mean you don't quit on a good day, but but sometimes it makes sense to quit, right? It does. But my piece of advice tonight is don't quit on a bad day.
Cool. I will remember
Emily,
that.
where can they buy your free? Well, first of all, do they have them in stock yet? Can they buy them? Oh,
yes, they can buy them.
Okay, good.
Yay!
And they can buy them and you'll actually ship them.
And I will ship them, yes.
Yeah, okay. So where can they do that?
My website is maybabesthebrand.com. And then on Instagram, it's May Babes Equestrian. And that's where I do a lot of, fun kind of stuff. And then actually, if you join my newsletter list, I did a scavenger hunt on my website for my birthday, it was really, really fun.
Oh, cool.
So if you're on my newsletter list, I give kind of discounts and do kind of fun stuff. So I think it's worth your while if you do that.
And the website again?
Maybabesthebrand.com.
Maybabesthebrand.com. Thanks, Em. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Our final guest tonight is somebody that I've known for a very long time, and I'm very proud to say that she's a brand new host of the newest show on the Horse Radio Network. And let's just say it's the first show on the Horse Radio Network that I think has an adult rating. So, hi, Natalie.
Hello. I'm so glad you let off with our E for explicit. I'm really proud of it.
Yes, I know. You are. We talked about this, and I said, I don't think any of our shows have an explicit rating. Did you rate it explicit when you put it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Heather
you had
did.
to.
Well, because every now and then, we say the F word, and then the one episode we definitely talk about male anatomy, like a lot, but it's horse male anatomy, and I think all horse girls have to have these conversations.
We talk about that on the morning show.
Well, it's health and veterinary wellness. It's important.
I don't know how many times we've talked about sheath cleaning on the show, much to my dismay. So yeah.
It should be a monthly segment so that we all get really, really up to date with the latest sheath cleaning information.
That's correct, because those beans, they change every month. It's just so different. So Natalie, Adulting with Horses is what it's called. You've had 3 episodes out now?
Yeah, we're putting out the 4th episode on Friday. And it's our first.
What is it? What do you guys chat about? Why should people listen?
Well, Adulting with Horses is for weird horse girls, no matter how else you might identify. If you're a weird horse girl at heart, you're going to enjoy this podcast. We do not take ourselves seriously. That goes for in the saddle.
That's an understatement, by the way. That's
Heather and I are both, we're both authors. We both have histories as equestrian professionals. She's an equine professional now. I have been. We both keep our own horses. We both have families. We both have husbands who aren't horse people. We both have outside lives in addition to what we do at the barn. And so Adulting with Horses really sums up what so many of us do.
Oh, it's 80% of our audience.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to do something that wasn't professionally oriented, but was still informed. We wanted to do something that wasn't an interview format, but was still organized. And so what we have is we have segments. We watch our clock, so we don't just talk for 3 hours. But it's completely unscripted, and we let the conversation go wherever it wants to go.
Give us an example of some of the topics that have been talked about in those first episodes.
So far, we have discussed Bridgerton and the horses used in Bridgerton, of course. We talk a lot about keeping horses at home versus at boarding stables, because I just brought my horse home to my farm for the first time in at least 10 years, possibly longer.
And we just did the opposite. We went from having our own farm to a boarding stable. So we just did the opposite. Yeah.
And that's a big thing with our conversations too, is Heather and I are really opposite in a lot.
You're very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we get along just perfectly. We're just the perfect odd couple. So.
And that's what it takes for being good co-hosts, right? And when I talk about that at conferences, I say you need somebody that's different. I mean, Jamie and I are different, right? We're very different, but yet we love each other and get along so well. And you need that if you're going to spend that much time with a person. And it comes across in the show too.
Well, and that's how you have conversation, right? Because like my husband and I are really alike, and we've been together over 20 years, and honestly, we don't have a ton of conversations because we mostly think the same things. We just kind of look at each other and nod. And that's great for us. That works for us. But it would be a really boring
Makes a terrible podcast.
Terrible.
That's true. That's true. So what's been your favorite segment you've talked about so far?
When we talked about weird encounters at horse shows and things you don't expect at horse shows, that got really weird really fast, which I enjoyed a lot. And we have one coming this week about trail riding. And we have our first guest host, who is Kathy Woods of Kathy Woods Yoga. And she rides in the backcountry of the Great Smoky Mountains. Whereas I almost never trail ride and find it terrifying. So she tries to convince me through very frightening stories that trail riding is a good idea. So that was pretty fun.
Last time I rode in the Smoky Mountains, we were there, and it was just Jennifer and I and the guide. And I don't ride that much, so they have to convince me to do this usually. So I get on this horse. It was a great horse. I don't even remember what the horse's name was, but we get going, and we're just hitting the trail, and a turkey came down from the tree right above us and hit my horse's head.
Oh my God.
And the fact that I didn't die at that moment was crazy. But that's and I don't trail ride that much. I'm not that good a rider. Now Jennifer says I kind of have a natural seat, which just makes her mad. But but I stayed on. The horse was fine, and that's how we started that trail ride in Smoky Mountains. Was a turkey hitting my horse's head.
I guess it's all in the horse, and I do not have that horse.
No, I think my pony would have been out of there, and me and the cart would have been gone. So, that's a good horse. I'm excited about this show. I think we needed this show on the network, and we've actually been talking about it for quite a while. And I just think we needed it. I think we needed kind of the opposite of Horses in the Morning. You know, you guys kind of do the evening thing.
We're the shocks.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's great.
I listened to like hot talk radio stations, way back before podcasts were a thing. And there's definitely, there's the morning variety show, there's the midday show, but that 7 p.m. show, boy.
Yep.
That's where it gets wild.
You're the 7 p.m. show.
I'm so excited to be at the 7 p.m. show.
We don't recommend you listening with your kids on this one.
No. Shouldn't. We don't go out of our way. We're just
you don't.
allowing ourselves to flow naturally.
You don't go out of your way. And I don't like shows like that because you can tell they're forced, right? And you guys aren't. You're just, by the way, when you listen to the show and you ask yourself, is this the way they really are? The answer is yes. Because I've been to dinner with them. I've had drinks with them. Yes, is the answer to that question. So.
We are absolutely, we get together mostly at like Equine Affair or the World Horse Expo because we do book signings together. And that's how we met. And we just drive our bookstore owner, her name is Jean. We just drive her crazy. We just won't let up on her.
Well, speaking of which, don't you have a new one coming out soon?
Yes, I do. I actually enabled my direct sales of it today. The book is called Foaling Season, and it's a follow-up to my eventing series, which is my biggest, most popular series. And so it is live on all channels like Apple, Amazon, Kobo, etc. on July 26th. But it is live on my website right now.
So they can buy it there?
Yep, you can buy it directly from me. You will save $1 and get it 2 weeks early.
And what's it called again?
It's called Foaling Season. It's set here in between Ocala and the Alachua County area, which is where I live. And it's set in March and April in Florida, which is about when I was writing it, honestly. So pretty true to life.
Where do your ideas come from for the book? They just come in your head, or
yeah, it's one of those things where,
because you've written a lot of books.
I write a lot. Yeah, it's one of those things where the more you do it, just that's how your brain starts operating. So I used to have to sort of agonize over book ideas, and now I just write them down. And when I need something, I have a list. Sometimes I have a dream. Sometimes I come up with it while I'm driving. Sometimes I come up with it while I'm riding. I put it into a note on my app, on my iPhone, and then I say, I need to do something with these characters because the readers really want these characters. And I see what sort of storylines I've written down that I can apply. So it's gotten almost methodical, which for as many books as I'm putting out now, it needs to be a little more methodical, a little less messy than the way I used to do it, which was just write whatever came into my head.
That's true of everything we do in life, isn't it? Eventually, you have to get organized.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had to do that here. Doing the shows in the early days, 14 years ago, was easy, right? It was just a couple of shows, and it was all of a sudden when you have 20, you have to be organized.
I'm literally at a point where I'm trying really hard to just hire my husband part-time because there's so much work that goes into the author business. Once you have, I've got 20 odd titles, marketing and production and editing and all that.
Social media.
Yeah. Social media. Yeah.
And now a podcast.
And now podcasts, I love podcasts. One of the things I've had this long list of things I wanted to do with my life, and one of the jobs I never got to do was I wanted to be an NPR reporter. So I always kind of wanted to be on the radio. So
This is a long way from NPR.
I don't listen to NPR anymore because it's such a bummer. So this is better.
Yeah, exactly. I think all of us quit when it got to be a bummer.
Yep.
Well, I'm excited to have you guys. You can find it on all the podcast players. It's called Adulting with Horses, and you can find it on the Horse Radio Network app and on our website. You can find it all the places. Just search up Adulting with Horses and it'll come up. And most likely you're listening on a podcast to this or podcast player to this right now. Just search on there; it'll be there. So it should be everywhere that your podcasts are found. Thanks, Natalie. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Stable Scoop. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks. If you missed any part of this live show tonight, you can go take a watch of it at any of the at horsesinthemorning.com or horseradionetwork.com. You can also see it on our Facebook pages, YouTube channel, all of that. Or you can listen to the audio version on Stable Scoop's podcast feed. Again, you can find it at any podcast player. Just search for Stable Scoop. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.